4:34 is the time. Richard Blakeway is with us, the Housing Ombudsman, to take your calls until 5 o'clock this afternoon. You can obviously listen live on LBC through Global Player, through the actual radio. Remember what that thing was. You can also watch on Global Player as well. 0345 6060 973 is the number. Joan, I know you want to ask about leaseholders, but before I come to your call, I just want to bring you this, an exclusive report from our reporter Fraser Knight on this very issue of leaseholders and the extortionate costs that they're paying. Fraser.
Huge costs, Tom. We've had dozens of leaseholders getting in touch with us, raising concerns that the current system is setting them up, they say, to be looted. Almost 5 million homes, just for context, are leasehold, meaning it's a building owner that looks after the management and the maintenance of the bricks and mortar, the communal space. But we've been told of hugely inflated service charges being handed down in cases, we're told, where the freeholder has set up their own businesses to pass contracts to in what's been described to me as a major conflict of interest. And the excuse that's been given for those higher rates is the cost of living. And it's left people like Sophie Bishner from Hertfordshire wishing that she'd never bought her flat in the first place.
Yeah, it was obviously one of the best things I've ever done at the time. And now I'd say it's the biggest regret of my life that I decided to buy this flat. I decided to become a leaseholder. I didn't realise how little rights you have as a leaseholder. I didn't realise that the cards are completely stacked against you by these powerful corporations that, you know, have all of the legal funding in the world to make sure that if a tribunal goes to court, you tend to not win.
And a lot of the freeholders that we've heard examples of are companies that have bought multiple blocks, with leaseholders saying they're using every law they can to pocket as much money as possible. Now, of course, there are ways to challenge costs that flat owners think are unfair, but I've been told the system is too inaccessible and, above all, expensive. Jack Spearman is from the Residential Freehold Association, and he told me the main issue here is a lack of regulation.
The freeholder setting up its own business to be a managing agent is something which I would see as a conflict of interest. It is at the moment a unregulated market in terms of who can be in that space. I think we have been calling for greater regulation. There are plenty of good freeholders out there, but unfortunately there are some bad ones too.
Now, above all, Tom, this is a very political issue as well. Labour's Shadow Housing Minister has told us he believes the current leasehold system is the root cause of abuse and poor service, while the Housing Secretary, Michael Gove, has previously said he'd like to announce the abolishment of leasehold in November's King's Speech. His department, though, saying that more reform legislation is coming.
Fraser, thank you. LBC reporter Fraser Knight.